Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Jake Miller Sports. I am Jake Miller, your host. Today's episode is brought to you by Benton Scapes. Any irrigation work, yard work, anything you need done, give them a call. Link in the description below. Today's episode is centered around Willie Taggart and the situation at Florida State. Basically, I'm just going to give you the rundown. Florida State just fired a coach that didn't deserve to get fired. Everyone wants to blame coaches in college football. Listen, sometimes it's just players and bad athletic directors who get to go through several coaches before someone realizes that the athletic director is the problem. Okay, in this situation, you had Willie Taggart, who took over after Jimbo Fisher bolted and went to Texas A&M to chase a monster deal. With that, you saw the decline of Florida State with Jimbo Fisher. And once Jimbo Fisher realized he couldn't do anything else with it, he jumped ship while he could still get a big contract with another big school. So that's when Willie Taggart came in after one season in Oregon, leading them to a bowl game. Went 5-7 last year. As of right now, Florida State is 4-5 after the loss to Miami. Let's see here. On their schedule, they have Boston College, Alabama State, and Florida left on the schedule. So, I mean, there was still potential to make a bowl game. And Florida State said, no, we're not even going to give them the opportunity to make a bowl game. So with that, all I can say is hang in there, Will. You'll get a chance with a real college football team one day. And you start thinking about all the other coaches that are on the hot seat and who's going to be available and who do they need to chase after. In my opinion right now, I think one of the best guys to chase after is P.J. Fleck from Minnesota. You take a guy like P.J. Fleck who has gotten Minnesota to where I think they're 8-0 this year, 9-0 maybe, something like that. They're undefeated. They're ranked number 13th in the country. Okay, and keep in mind, this is Minnesota. This is not Ohio State. This is not Michigan. This is not Alabama. This is not Florida. This is Minnesota, a school in the middle of nowhere that doesn't have the resources that all these other schools have, and he's got them undefeated right now. Okay, and they're one of the best teams in the Big Ten. They're fun to watch. I don't have any problem with the guy. He's one of the top guys that you should go after, okay? And then you also look at Brent Venables and coaches like that, but, back to Florida State. You fire Willie Taggart, who didn't deserve to be fired. And I start thinking back as a Tennessee fan to when we fired Derek Dooley in 2012. Okay? Love Philip Fulmer. 90% of the fans in Tennessee love Philip Fulmer. One of the things that we have to admit, though, is that during Fulmer's last few years, the recruiting was not as good as it should have been. We weren't getting the guys that we should have got, and then ultimately led to the decline of the football program in 2008, going 5-7 on the year. Announced that Philip Fulmer was getting fired basically after the South Carolina game, but he's going to coach out the rest of the year, and so no one gave a crap at that point. And then you bring in Lane Kiffin, who gave the program a spark. But after Lane Kiffin left, of course, you had players leave like Bryce Brown. Then you had players with some disciplinary issues. New Keith Richardson, Jansen Jackson, all those other guys had disciplinary issues, nothing you can do about it. So Derek Dooley's basically left with the same situation, kind of like Jeremy Pruitt is now. You're starting from scratch, and you're trying to build on something with what you've got, and then try to bring your guys in. Well, Jeremy Pruitt's finally turned the corner. He's learned how to be a head coach. But Willie Taggart was left probably with the same situation, maybe less, than what Jeremy Pruitt was left with. But now you're sitting here, and both teams have the same record. Both teams started out the same way last year. The only difference is Tennessee is giving Jeremy Pruitt time, and Florida State did not give Willie Taggart any time at all. Okay, like I said, Willie, just hang in there. You'll get another chance with a real college football team. But, if FSU doesn't make the right hire with this one, then they are looking at what Tennessee was looking at after they fired Derek Dooley, okay? You're going to have a coach that's going to win with the talent that Willie Taggart has brought in for a couple of years, and then after that talent's gone, boom, you're going to be right back down there at 4-8. That's exactly what's going to happen, is you got Willie Taggart who's brought in a few guys, and now you've got a coach that you don't even know who you're going to hire yet. He's going to win with that talent for a few years, and if it's not a good hire and it's a Butch Jones hire, year 5, year 4, they're going to plummet. And they're going to do exactly what Tennessee did. And you're going to end up firing that coach 5 years later. And then you're going to hire another guy. And hopefully you get the right hire. So what I see right now for Florida State is basically a decade of destruction. Just like us. We fired Derek Dooley, who another reason, people are not going to agree with me. But I don't think that Derek Dooley deserved to be fired. He should have been given at least 2 more years. Because I think it takes at least 4 to 5 years to build a program. and get it to where you want it to be. And with that, you know, you gave a guy a year and a half. You're not going to get results in a year and a half. I don't know who you think you are. You're not Alabama anymore. Okay, Florida State and Tennessee, Florida, you know, USC, all those guys, Miami, that dominated in the 90s and early 2000s. You know, Florida State, you're not that anymore. Tennessee finally realized we're not that anymore. We got to build. And you all just plummeted. Okay? You owe the guy $17 million. That's one thing that I did not mention. Willie Taggart's buyout. Willie Taggart's getting paid big time out of this deal. $17 million is his buyout. Okay? You're paying a guy $17 million not to coach, and then you got to go try to get a guy with what resources you have left. Good luck with that. Everybody have a good night and go Vols.